Well, we're about 8 days out from the comp. A little bit of setbacks happening here. Nothing too major though. But yeah, we got sick yesterday. Um, so yesterday was supposed to be our deadlift opener. Called off sick from work. Called off sick again today. Still not feeling the greatest. I do know that I have to get my opener in at some point, and I kind of just want to see what I can do right now. I kind of want to. I just want to see like where I'm going to end, basically. So this is not really really good or big indicator where we're going to be at the meet, just because of how we're feeling. But I feel better today than I felt yesterday for sure. It's pretty early in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. I guess it's not really early, but it's 9 a.m. I've got some breakfast in me. I got a lot of medicine in me right now. I've had a little bit of caffeine to kind of help just get my energy up a little bit. But we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna go as close to my opener as I can get, and if I can pull my opener, then great. I just don't want to pull anything for like an RP like 9 or 10, basically. I do want to get the work in. I do want to get this kind of solidified, because I do need this as a step to build later on. Because kind of without this, I don't have like a step to go from, you know. We know we pulled 475 a few weeks ago, and we pulled 405. I'd hate to not pull anything, and I'd also hate to only pull 405 again. But if I pull 405 sick as like an RP9, then so be it. It is what it is. But I at least want to give it a shot to hopefully do like 405 around 440 today. That way the meet 475 is definitely there. And then pulling for 5 is what we are what we're shooting for here, of course. I mean, it's just a plate, so I feel pretty all right. I mean, I'm out of breath for sure. But I think the biggest thing, when it comes to training when you're sick, I think it's important to kind of gauge like where are you at here, you know? Like, we have a cold or we have like the flu? I think training when having like something like the flu is not a good idea. Your body needs that rest and recovery. But sometimes, man, depending on the cold you get, I feel like sometimes getting moving and getting your body to work and sweat a little bit kind of helps. You know, it can kind of really help. I don't know if it helps your body just work through everything or what, but sometimes when I have a cold and I work out or I just get up and moving and walking and stuff, sometimes I feel better if I can do some stuff. You know, if I can do some stuff around the house, if I can do some stuff outside, whatever. So I'm hoping this will kind of jumpstart some stuff. Because like I said, I mean, having the flu, your body needs that rest and recovery. And I think in general, being sick, you do. So it ain't the end of the world if you're in off season or the beginning of a prep to, you know, take an extra day, maybe an extra 2 days to help yourself really recover, to get back to where you were, you know, or at least start. But right now we're kind of at the end of the prep. So we're kind of at a point to where we kind of need to get this stuff done and we need to get this under our belts. Like the opener is something that like I need to do. Like it needs to get done. So I don't want to skip it. We've already pushed it back one day. I do feel like I'll feel better probably by Saturday or Sunday, just because of the type of cold that it is. But definitely yesterday I was not going to be able to pull anything. I probably couldn't even pull like 315. So I'm feeling a little better. Like I said, I got a lot of medicine in me. Got breakfast, got caffeine, bunch of water. All right, not bad. Let's put one more. And also, like, just like our other lifts, we're gonna kind of do this kind of how we would at the meet. So I'm gonna make the same jumps. I'm going to take the same rest time in between, all that type of stuff. So, and generally, this is how I warm up for deadlift, especially for pulling over 4. It's definitely plate, half, plate, top setter. At 4 or 5 is the top, then whatever. But we'll pull this for single. I'm gonna rest for a minute. Pull this, 4 or 5. Pull that. Rest for like 2-3 minutes, something like that. Then pull our opener. See what happens. So. Oh. Before I show this top set, welcome to my channel. My name is John Mahaffey. I've been powerlifting for 5 years now. I'm kind of an amateur powerlifter, coach, enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. So my main thing here is normal training. You know, I work out in my garage gym. I'm married. I have a full-time job. I have kids, so my schedule changes. Things change. I do all my own programming, which updates, you know, week to week sometimes. So a lot of that to me showcases like just what normal really is. Really wish more lifters, advanced lifters, you know, more like professional lifters, I wish they were more transparent with how their day-to-day really affected their training and life. Really wanted to be transparent when it came to my programming. If you like this stuff, subscribe to my channel, helps me out a ton. Liking the video helps me out a ton. Let's get back to the workout and let's see what we can do in this top set. All right, so things changed. I felt really good. So loaded up 455. Pulled it. Granted, not my best and prettiest 455. It's not my best and prettiest pull ever. But I learned 2 things from that I think is super important. For one, I can still pull even if I don't feel great. And I'm to the point where I am like so winded pulling this stuff. I'm so winded to move any type of weight. To be honest with you, even like moving stuff around in the house feels terrible. But I still can pull when I'm tired. I can still pull when I'm sick. I can still pull when everything is not great, when things just don't feel well. I can still pull, which is great. Great feeling. I'm still strong no matter what. Great feeling to have. So, but two, I also learned in that pull, because like how I had set up, right, is I had set a pretty good amount of tension in my lower body, right? And I've been seeing a lot of people talk lately about your upper body tension, like your upper like your back, basically, your upper back tension, and how much tension are you building there? And some people are very adamant that your entire body from head to toe needs to be absolutely tense. Everything needs to be rigid. Everything needs to stay. And the only things that are moving is basically your knees, that little bit, and your hips. That's it. Nothing else should move. Everything should stay the same. You know, you're going to rotate your shoulder a little bit as you come up and it rotates more towards you. But I've seen a lot of people talk lately about upper back tension. And I've never been one to create a lot of tension in my upper back, because for me, no matter what I do, any type of like tension always just brings my arms shorter. I have short arms. I'm not going to make my arms shorter. You know, in some of my pulls, it might look like I'm like very rounded up top. And like some of that is intentional, because going from like this to like a more rounded, like my hands do get like a little longer down on my legs. And that's what I want. I would rather pull more at a disadvantage because of my upper back than because of my arms, if that makes sense. Like that extra 2 inches can put my hips in a different position. It's a shorter range of motion. And the disadvantage between this and this is not that much. Now, the difference between like this and like pulling like this is absolutely yes. I'm not going to pull like this and like lock out, but having a little bit around in my upper back and allowing my thoracic to kind of like my thoracic to round and keeping my lower back relatively neutral is kind of like what I need to do. But a lot of people are talking about even doing that, like doing this intentional round, you have to create tension in order to safely do it, without it being that I pull the bar and the bar pulls me forward. I want to start here, and that is tension. And it's more about like when you set, like from here up, like your brace needs to be set. But even I see people talking about bracing too hard on deadlift. You know, it's almost like from your hips up need to be tense in a certain way, to where you're not coming down here and like tensing to the bar and like pulling everything up. A lot of guys talk about pulling 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 pounds. Like your upper back can't handle that much load. And even if you are like me, you're a mid 4, high 4 puller trying to pull 500. I would still argue that your upper back can't handle that. Unless you're doing some like crazy upper back work where your upper back is just stronger than an 800-pound puller, which probably isn't going to be the case. And if that was, then you probably would you'd probably pull more, if that makes sense. So like to me, it made sense in my head of like your upper back can't take that. But what your upper back can do is it can, like when it pulls, like you create the tension with pulling the slack out on that bar. And then that's what you hold the tension. You hold it there. You don't create like this tension that when you come up to the bar, like you already have like this and you're not moving your upper back. It's more like when you pull like the slack out of the bar and it pulls your upper back in that way, then you keep that tension there, if that makes sense. That way your upper back should be kind of relaxed. And it should be like pulled, because then instead of trying to fight your shoulder blades back up the whole time, if you let your shoulder blades kind of come to where they're naturally going to be with that amount of weight and tension, and then you just hold it there. And that's what I did. And it kind of actually allowed me to do like two things. It allowed me to pull with mostly my legs and hips. But for two, it allowed me to, when I pulled, to really like start to pull and really like lean back in and like allow my hips to come through. And as my hips come through, like even now, like if I can push my hips through, my torso comes up. Like I don't even have to try. Like just like tightening my glutes like makes my torso, if I keep it nice and rigid and I keep my back straight, You know, even if my upper back can still like move and do whatever, like tightening my glutes does that. Pushing my hips forward has to bring my torso up. So I thought that was interesting, you know. That really like clicked in my head. Like in that pull, I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Like this is where that leaning back on my deadlifts can help. Because before, especially conventional, you initiate your pull, you start to like do this stuff where you lean back and you end up like falling back, and then but you're not leveraged because you're too like far behind the bar to really even pull anything. Where on sumo, it made more sense like when I could feel it crack the floor and I could feel myself like kind of start to lose it a bit. I just can feel my body naturally just like kind of like come back and like everything kind of settle to where my hips became closer to the bar. And I kind of like rocked my torso back. And in sumo, I definitely want my arms to be more parallel with the bar. And conventionally, you want to be a little bit farther over the bar. But for this, for sumo, you kind of want to be right on top of the bar in a way. And it allowed me to really like bring my back backwards and, you know, and bring my hips forward. And it just like got myself in like a nice groove where I just like kind of found a spot where it was just like, okay, lock out, we're done. So I don't know. I thought that was, I don't know. I think that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly where I want it to be. Ta-da. Whoo. So pretty good deadlift session. It was honest to God, I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with the way the doubles moved after. Very happy with that single, especially. You know, having a goal and a plan set for, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the weight is. If you only pull 300, if you pull 5, 7, like, now granted, I don't pull 700 pounds, so it's just speculation. But like, I suspect the same thing is true no matter if I'm trying to finally pull 225, 3, 15, 405, 495, 585. Doesn't matter. No matter what the milestone is that I'm trying to pull, I assume the same thing is true. Gearing up for that pull and hitting something underneath that number in a situation where it moves very well, or it didn't move so great, but the circumstances, like given the circumstances, it did move very well. Like that is such a big confidence boost. That is such like a big like, oh, well, we definitely got it then. Yeah. Like, you know, trying to pull 500 for the first time, and I'm pulling 455, and it looks pretty decent. I mean, you know, not the best speed in the world, but it moved fairly well, especially for being sick and not being able to really breathe. Like that gives me so much confidence that if I can just get to the meet healthy, not sick, not hurt, then like 500 has to be there. You know what I mean? Like, right? Like, it's like trying to bench 225 for the first time, and it's like the week before you're trying to hit it or whatever, and you take out 215 and you hit it for some like a double, and it feels like you could have got it for 10. Like, it just feels so nice knowing that like that's around the corner and it's there. Like, I just have to show up and kind of do it. Like that's, I don't know, that's nice. just think of that as such a big confidence boost, you know? Because part of me really thinks, especially with this meet prep, that I've done the numbers that I need to do to feel confident in what I'm going to hit or won't hit. You know, like I feel very confident in my lifts. As long as I can show up like healthy, that meaning not injured and not sick, then I know those numbers should be there because I've done everything I need to do. So there's a part of me that's very confident with coming in sick because there is a part of me that's like, so let's say we would have hit 405 and it would have been a grinder. It wouldn't have impacted the meet that much. Does that make sense? Like hitting 405 sick and it being an RP9 is not going to impact the meet, you know? Now, hitting 405 at like an RP like 10, yeah, maybe that would have impacted the meet for sure. But that's just because of fatigue. But hitting that lower number would not have made it to where at the meet I wouldn't have been able to pull anything, you know? Like I wouldn't have been taking a step backwards. So there's a part of me that feels good in knowing that even if coming in today it did not go as planned, the meet is still there. Like that plan still stands. And that plan is still very, very accurate. That plan is very much, what I want to say, like it's very much like there, no matter what, you know. 500 is either at this meet or it's not. There isn't a ton of like, well, maybe, you know, given the circumstances are great and blah, blah, blah. Like to me, as long as I have a pretty normal day, like 500 should be there. Same thing with bench. I feel like on just a normal average good day, 315 is there. Squat, 485. I feel like it's there. Now, are they all three there in the same day? We'll find out. If something is more there than on squat, is that there on bench and deadlift? You know, those are different stories. That comes down to attempt selection and, you know, making the proper calls. Whew. All right, I think I'm gonna call it there. We'll do some more stuff tomorrow. We got bench opener. Only like a week out, so I'm gonna try and rest, get some recovery in. See you guys tomorrow. Bench opener. 300, I think. See? Whew.